Well, hello. It's time for another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This is the show where I talk about the fountain pens and inks I've been using throughout the week. So let's dive into it. If videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And hey, I just haven't really formulated this yet, but I saw a video tonight that just really made me think about pens and technology and stuff, so I'm going to share the link to it down the video description. But, how do your fountain pens mesh with your digital technology? Let us know down in the comments. So we're going to dive into the pens, but before I do that, I apologize in advance. This the usual camera I talk into, battery's dead. I left it turned on since the last time I ran that camera, so whoops. So I thought, no problem, I will just put in the other battery, because I have two batteries. That one's dead too. And I don't have a charger for these batteries, so they have to be charged in camera. So I thought, well, let's just use the Livestream camera to film this tonight, and let's do a different setting. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, enough of that. Now you know why everything's going to be on this strange camera. Let's take a look at some pens. So these are the pens I've been using this week. From left to right, we have the Platinum 3776 with the koi finish. Benu Talisman with the foxglove finish. We have a Lamy 2000 extra fine. Pilot Custom 823. A vintage Dutch Cora. A vintage Lamy 80. A Platinum Izumo. And the Nakaya Decapod twist. As always, I will be doing my writing. That was a lot of noise. I will be doing my writing in this cognitive surplus theory notebook. So the first pen is this Platinum 3776 with the koi finish, a celluloid pen. Has a broad nib in it. And just at the moment it is filled with Noodler's Black Swan and English Rose. So it has a nice broad nib. It's a pretty wet nib. Has some feedback, which is fun, but not too much feedback. No custom grind or anything. And I think it brings out the beauty of this ink quite well. This is another bottle of ink that's almost empty. It's a bottle I might consider replacing. Or, if you know an alternative from a different company, I'd be interested in that too. It's a very unique shade of red. I wouldn't call it a dark red. I'm not sure how to describe it, but a different sort of red. And it does, in the right pen, it'll show some nice shading. My next pen is the Benu Talisman with a foxglove finish, even though foxglove flowers are purple. So I'm not sure, I was not clear why it got that name, but so be it. And I don't remember what nib is in it. Oh, it's a broad. The ink that's in it, let me just pop up my list here because I don't remember how to spell it. It's French. Herbin, J. Herbin, Cornaline, Digit, this is one of those sparkly inks. I Not enjoying it as much now. After I have a sparkly ink in a pen for too long, it just starts to get weird. You get super sparkles and then no sparkles, and because the sparkles settle out of the ink. So, yeah, I'm not a sparkle fan. So the Lamy 2000 has become my daily writer, but this is a extra fine that I purchased because of the change in quality of the paper at school. Must have gotten some condensation on it. Doesn't usually write this gray. So it has an extra fine nib. It actually traveled with me to Killdeer. Oh yeah, it did get some condensation. I see water there. Traveled with me to Killdeer today. Went to a wrestling meet. Toward the end of the video, I'm going to insert a little bit of wrestling stuff. And just a quick look at one or two bits of the school. It's a brand new school. It opened in 2022. So, of course, it's quite nice. And the gym was impressive, where they had the wrestling meet. They had 4 mats going at once. And there was I wouldn't call it an indoor track, but a running track inside. That seems a little too light. I don't know if that helped at all. Huh. I'm dialing down the exposure. Huh. Well, let's go with that. I thought my video on the Lamy 2000 this week was a little overexposed. I meant to overexpose it a little because I was trying to make the writing particularly stand out, but then in editing I thought, ooh, you went a little too far. So this is a Pilot Custom 823. This has a fine nib in it. The ink in this one is pretty much, well, not quite, but getting close to the last of my Edelstein Onyx because, yeah, I've used up the bottle. Little unfair comparison right here because I think condensation got into the nib of my Lamy 2000. It was a very cold day, and I was in and out with the pen. So I like Edelstein. It's cheaper to buy the Pelican 4001 Brilliant Black or Parker Quink, but I thought it was an attractive ink, as such things go. This is a pen. I actually was showing some people some of my fountain pens. That's actually how I used up my Edelstein Onyx. This is a Cora. I did not show you the pen. I apologize. I'll try that again. So this is a Cora. It's a Dutch pen. I can't find much about it. I've read suggestions that it was made by Kaveco. Excuse me. And it has its own nib, which I think is a rebranded Bach nib. But anyway, again, the ink in it is Edelstein Onyx. You get a tremendous amount of flex out of this nib without even trying. So for such an unassuming black pen, it packs quite a punch in that nib and feed. And I mean barely any pressure, and you're getting line variation. So quite an impressive pen. It's one of my more favorite in my collection. This is a fun one. This one shares some features with the Lamy 2000. So I wonder if, there's a relationship there. Anyway, it's a Lamy 80. Uh-oh. Didn't really want to write there. I don't know what was wrong there, but now it's writing. So this has a double broad nib. The ink in it is Callifolio Violet. Another ink I'd like to use up. I have a lot of Callifolio inks. I like them. It gives you some variety in color. I don't know, why is it being so funny? It gives you a good variety in color, but the colors do tend to be more muted. And it's heavier in certain color families than others. Like if you like blues and dark blues, Callifolio's got a lot to offer you. If you like reds or that kind of thing, not so much. And I don't care for their black. This is the beautiful Platinum Izumo with the Byakudan finish, which is supposed to be off of some temple roof. Just a very beautiful pen. If you like the nib on this, now if you live in the US, the only way to get this nib is in a Platinum Izumo. This is a Platinum President nib, and you can't buy, unless you can find old stock, you can't buy the Platinum President in the United States anymore. So this nib is a coarse cursive italic. Coarse is Platinum's way of saying double broad. And the ink in it is Edelstein Onyx. Which, like I said, there's a reason I ran out of this ink so suddenly. So that means I get to start the new year using up Omas Black, which once it's gone cannot be replaced. But my philosophy on ink is it's meant to be used. If you're just hoarding it to keep it, what are you keeping it for? Till it grows little furries? I'd rather use it. This is Nakaya Decapod Twist. I've always thought it was a beautiful pen. Expensive, but beautiful. As I get these pens with the Edelstein Onyx used up, I will start having more colors in my pen collection, but we're going to have to put up with this for a few more weeks. Although I'm pretty sure the Platinum Izumo was having trouble because it's almost empty. A fire hose like that uses a lot of ink. And the Cora is close to empty. That didn't take long. She sat in my case for a while till I got around to using her, and yeah, already almost empty. I enjoy the soft fine nib, by the way. It's the same one, if you don't want to pay Nakaya prices, that comes in the Platinum 3776. Before I go back to my face, I got a package in the mail from Singapore this week, which is an unusual event for me. And in it, there were 3 pens. We're just going to look at them briefly. First, and expect videos on these. Now let me dial up the exposure a little. So the first pen is a Reform, let me get the number right, 6484. Looks like a lot of my other slim black vintage pens. Now, I feel like I have a reform with a nib similar to this, but I don't know if it's the same one. So I'm going to have to go through my videos in my collection to see what's going on. But nice gold nib. Next pen is a pen I'd never heard of. There we go. It's called a, get the name right, Pilot Custom Stripes, and it has an 18 karat gold nib. And they put WG, but I'm wondering if that stands for white gold. So the stripes definitely have some texture. Uncap it. It actually reminds me a lot of the Pilot E95. Except for the size. It's not a pocket pen like that. Let me see what's written on the nib here. Whoa. Even with my glasses, that's really hard to read. Okay, it's a medium. So it's a Pilot medium nib. No converter, but I'll put one in when I kind of want to clean them out a little first, just in case. Ooh, nice snap to it. And then finally, the last pen I was sent is a brand I'd never heard of. Another slim black pen. This is a Fermi, F-E-R-M-E, so I might be mispronouncing it wrong. 3231. So a brand I'd never heard of. It's a 14 karat broad nib. Little bounce to it, but hardly a flex nib. So I'm very curious to try this one out. Curious to try them all out. So, I'm not sure their history, so I'll do a little cleaning on them. And I think you're going to see me record 3 videos this weekend. Who knows when they'll be published, but anyway, let's go back to me. So those are the pens and inks I've been using this week, and you got to see 3 pens that I was sent from Singapore. Naturally, that person is going to get a nice thank you letter. Anyway, they sent me those 3 pens, and I am really looking forward to trying them. So, look for... Okay, I'm probably going to film 3 videos this weekend, but that'll be those 3 pens. But I'm also going to film some follow-ups to some other pens you have seen earlier, because I actually was reminded that I was sent 2 pens by my brother and sister last year, and sister-in-law, sorry, brother and sister-in-law. My brother did not marry my sister because I don't have a sister. My brother married my sister-in-law. Okay. Now we got that cleared up. Wow, that turned awkward real fast. Anyway, I realized that I've only filmed one of the 2 pens she sent me. So I'm going to film the second part of the other pen. And that might be the video you see next week. In other exciting news, let me just open up Evernote here, which has my topics. So this week on YouTube, I did I can't hold both open at the same time. Alright, so anyway, this week on YouTube I did a poll. It's still there. I'm not real sure how to hide it. I wanted to do a poll. I was looking to talk about some of the other things my viewers collect, and I thought, I'm just going to list a bunch of topics, and we'll just have this wonderful survey of all kinds of different topics, and select all that apply, and so on. And YouTube polls are very limited. I thought about setting up a Google poll instead, and because I've done that. Google has Google Forms, and you can do a bit more with that than YouTube, but in the end I just thought, so I didn't. But anyway, it's been interesting. I kind of tried to pick, what are because I was limited to 5 choices. What are some things my viewers are likely to collect? And then I had to add the comment that, hey, feel free to comment down below with other things. So I wasn't surprised. Books are in the lead. I think fountain pen people are people who are interested in ideas and thinking and thoughts. And so, yeah, people who read are people who are interested in ideas and thinking and thoughts. So that was just a natural. I guess it gives away my nerdiness that one of my topics was slide rules and one of my topics was old adding machines and calculators. And then I had, what was the other one? Oh, typewriters. And, yeah, typewriters came in a distant second. And, yeah, the slide rules and old adding machines / calculators are in last place. But somehow I'm not surprised. You know, there's that mechanical aspect, because I'm a physics guy. My degree is in physics. Of course I like old calculators and stuff. I love mechanical typewriters, both for the creativity and for they are such cool little pieces of equipment. Did you know you can replace the drawband in a typewriter with a shoelace? I just did that this week. Kind of fun. And anyway, so the mechanical aspect appeals to me, and the calculating aspect. But I wish I could have had a lot more. Oh, watches. I had watches on the survey. I didn't know what to think about watches. I just knew that several people that watch my channel also collect watches. That was not intentional, by the way. But like Hemingway Jones actually started as a watch collector, and or was he a watch YouTuber? I don't know. Anyway, and I actually view, I'm going to be careful from now on, I view 1 or 2 watch channels. Urban Gentry is one. I'll never own any of those watches. I don't collect watches. I don't even wear a watch anymore. But he's interesting. And there was some Australian guy I was watching for a while, but he got kind of woohoo, so I quit watching him. We're watching again. What watch discussion. But anyway, so it was interesting. I'm going to do something with that in an upcoming Pens in Use, but I just thought, wow, YouTube surveys are pretty much really super basic social media surveys. They're not actually they're not actually useful for collecting any kind of information. Okay, so enough on that. Last weekend I did a live stream. I did not do it on the coldest day of the week. I did it on, well, the second coldest day on Sunday, because a number of viewers and I have kind of settled on Sunday at 1:30 p.m., but it's not going to be every Sunday because life. So we've pretty much settled on once a month I'll do a live stream, and it just whenever it fits in my schedule. Like, it's not going to be the first weekend of February because I am busy with something at school on Sunday the first weekend of February. But it's kind of fun to do a live stream. This one was not very well planned because I just kind of, woohoo, I got a day off, and oh, it's cold, I'm not going outside, so let's do a live stream. And yeah, I got, as one of my viewers pointed out, about an hour into it, I finally got around to talking about fountain pens. So, live streams, you never know where they're going to go. And I try really hard to respond to user comments as they arrive. I'm not one of those YouTubers who gets so many comments on his live streams that I just can't keep up with them. Well, oh, there went one. I know some of them will take donations and things. It's like, oh, $20 comment, better respond to that one. So I'm in a good place. My size isn't too big yet. But anyway, if you want to watch a live stream, my town had the distinction of being one of the coldest places in the continental United States this past weekend, so yay us! But But anyway, I enjoy doing the live streams, and I think I've done pretty well doing one every month. Sometimes at the end of the month, because I have a busy month, but I get there. So, yeah, join in the fun. And, if you can't catch it live, because I know some of you just, I gotta sleep, man. You can always watch the replay. I try to save the comments, and I've learned how to make the comments appear on the screen, too. I was all ready to fight trolls this live stream, because I had some appear last live stream, but none appeared this time, or if they did, they were really sneaky trolls. So, hey, I'll take that. So, this kind of leads into my major topic, but I've been thinking a little bit about diaries and journals. A number of fountain pen YouTubers will talk about journaling. Matt Armstrong used to talk about it a lot. Stephen Brown has talked about it some, although I will admit that a lot of these YouTubers, I don't watch all their videos. I don't have time, I've got a job and stuff. But I've read a lot of things about diaries and journals, and, if you are my age, you might remember watching the Waltons on TV, where John Boy Walton always kept a diary, and the diary became the foundation of his own novel writing. I used to watch John Boy Walton. In fact, I got the idea, I want to write a diary. So, I don't know, for 2 or 3 years when I was really little, I'm not sure exactly what age, but little, my parents bought me some diaries, and, they were little books with cute little clasp on them and everything, and I kept a diary for a while, and, I'd miss several days in a row, and then I'd diary again, and, I wish I'd kept them. I don't know what happened to them, but they're gone. I have this fear that in one of my decluttering phases when I was younger and embarrassed by my child self that I might have thrown them away, but I just couldn't stick with diarying. Reading some of the entry, remembering some of the entries I read to myself, I just kind of think, yeah. But, there's a certain thing to that. It's just not me. Journaling, okay, if something's on my mind, I'll write it out. Like, I was selling, last year actually, I was selling tickets at a basketball game, and, it was a junior. Yeah, I think it was a junior high tournament. Anyway, I just got into this zone, and I had my Remarkable tablet with me, and so it's not a fountain pen, but whatever, it's e-ink and all that. But I got this book. This was when the book banning thing was first becoming a thing, and I just kind of, all these thoughts were starting to come to me, and so I started writing them down, and I was writing fast and furious, and people are like, oh, you're really into that, you're not even paying attention to the games. And yeah, I wasn't. I was focused right in on that journaling. That's kind of how I journal. I don't every day, what are my thoughts about today? What went well? What am I grateful for? What do I need to improve about myself? I might have a day where I think, ooh, yeah, what are my thoughts on this? I eat too much food, or drink too much coffee, or whatever. I can see that, on a specific day, but as a general thing, I'm not going to talk about, this kid called me a poopy head today at school. I guess I'm too thick-skinned. Over 2 decades of teaching does that to you. But, I'm not a daily journaler. So it's been interesting because I bought myself a thing because I just thought it'd be interesting in years to come. I've told you about it before. I have this 10-year diary, but it just gives you about I can't remember if it's 4 or 5 lines, but 4 or 5 lines to summarize each day, and every set of 2 facing pages has 10 years on it of that date. And I just thought that might be interesting. Now, in those few lines, I'm probably not going to capture very much that's super insightful or super detailed or super personal. But who cares? I just thought it'd be interesting. So, I've actually, it's a short enough writing span that, yeah, I've been able to do it. It's January 18th so far, so, who knows if I'll keep doing it, but it's just been kind of a thing, and it's not very interesting. I record my thoughts, I think, oh yeah, I gotta do the diary. But I keep thinking to myself, whoops, sorry, I kicked the camera. I keep thinking to myself, right now, I'm just going, oh, whatever. But in years to come, especially 5-10 years from now when I'm recording my entries, I might be going, what was I thinking that day? Holy cow, I don't remember that. So I think it'll be kind of fun. Some of it might be tragic. 10 years is enough time that you could lose friends. You could lose family. Actually, in my live stream, I mentioned that a friend of mine I'd been seeing actually that day, got very sick, and I don't want to get into all the details, but became unresponsive to the point that there were a couple of us there, but we called the ambulance on him, and he's fine now. No, the doctors do not know what happened, but my thoughts on that and my experience are in here, and. That was a very raw emotion that day. If you remember doing my live stream in January, I was pretty upset, and I flat out said at the beginning of my live stream, I'm partly doing this to distract myself because I can't deal with this, and I need to talk about something else. Was it January? No, it was December. It was my end of December live stream. But anyway, he's doing fine now. I've talked to him. He's fine, and nobody knows what happened. He was under huge, and again, I don't want to get into his personal business, but he was under a lot of huge personal stress during that time, and maybe his body just said, nope, let's just take a little rest here. I don't know, but man, that was scary, and it's one of those things that 10 years from now, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to remember that, because those kind of events stick in your memory, but I might not remember exactly how I felt and how stressful it was, so. And I've written a few individual student things, I'm not really putting names in there, but like I had 2 girls in my room today working on a Science Olympiad project, so I talked about that in my entry for today, and yeah, I think it'll be fun in 10 years to see some of this stuff. And, in some places it'll be kind of tragic, and some of you will be like, oh, I remember when this person was alive, and, my feelings about them. And, I think it'll be good. And I don't have to do the whole diary thing, like John Boy Walton or whatever. So, but yeah, I'm not much of a journaler in the traditional sense, where you got to write your thoughts every day and deal with emotions and things. I guess my personality is pretty much woo woo woo. Once in a while I'll go into a dark place, but that's very rare, and it usually takes something pretty extreme to bring me to a dark place. So I just kind of go with the flow, and whatever happens happens. I did put in my notes here typewriter versus handwriting. I will admit I put that in there before this video I mentioned at the beginning, but I'll address that briefly. So I watch a number of different fountain pen people, and they all have different personalities. Some of them post regularly, some of them are on a schedule. You'll always see a video on every Thursday and Saturday or whatever. But anyway, I one of the ones I follow is Adventure Denali, and she has done several videos about her journaling using typewriters. And I like mechanical typewriters. Like I said somewhere in this video, I just recently repaired a drawstring using a shoelace. I also have a bloody finger from doing that, but let's not talk about that. But anyway, I love them. I have a 1910 Underwood Model 5 that I'm repairing. I have a working Underwood SX, which shares a lot of mechanics. I have a Smith Corona Silent Super, and as of, was it 2 weeks ago? Not very long ago, I have a Groma Colibri. So I am now a 4-typewriter household, which is kind of crazy. I'm a loner here, too. My camera is sitting beside it right now, but we won't talk about it yet because that's a surprise coming for another video. But the loner has to go home, so, you know. But anyway, I forgot. Oh, anyway, Adventure Denali owns several typewriters. One of them is the same model as the loner sitting right beside the camera right now. And she does journaling with her typewriters, and she has even bound her journals. And I don't do that. I'm not that way. But I collected all my typed stuff that wasn't the novel I'm working on. That I have done since, I don't know how long ago, but whenever I started using a typewriter and wasn't throwing stuff away. So all bound in a nice, and I'm not going to show you inside because this is definitely personal stuff, but you know, this is story ideas, experimental stuff that, you know, maybe I wouldn't want people to see. That thing's pretty thick. I think it's 2 inches thick. I need to get another binder. It's one of these folders with pressed cardboard covers that has 2 prongs in it that go through holes that are in the pages and then fold over. I can't fit many more pages in that thing. I got to start another one. And it was just interesting to bring all that together. And, you know, I'm looking at all the fiction I've typed that is more my traditional, this is the novel I want to write type stuff. I'm thinking, oh boy, I already need another pressboard folder just for that. And, yeah, so now what's going on in this? It's me working through different things in a fictional setting. Or just trying out things. You know, oh, I want to write a fantasy. So, you know, I mostly write science fiction for fun. Fantasy, ooh, magic, wizards, ooh, yick. But, you know, it's in there. There's some stuff about somebody who finds out they're a wizard at like 14 years old. And how does he find his way? And, you know, all that stuff. And it's definitely not a Harry Potter type of story because there's not a wizard school. He's just like on your own and, oh, well, look, I can do these things and what the hell's going on now? I apparently can heal people. You know, that kind of stuff is what's in there. And, you know, I guess when I typewrite, that's what I do. My handwriting is often more my notes, you know, where I write down, oh, I just had a doggone good idea. Write it down. And so I have notebooks full of that too. And you know, it all blurs together because there's stories handwritten, stories that are typed, and you know, whatever. But then it blurs in with technology because it's the 21st century. I mean, I'm talking to you from rural North Dakota. I'm going to bet money maybe 1 or 2 of you have ever been to my town, if that many. And only a handful of you have even been to my state. Let me know down in the comments you've been here, but you know, that's kind of my guess. And that made me start thinking about Pullein. He did a video today as I filmed this. I don't know when you're watching it, but he did a video where he talked about his fountain pens. Now, Pullein is kind of a productivity guy. He talks about productivity. He does classes on productivity, and he does a lot of stuff with Todoist, with Evernote, with programs like that, iCalendar, Apple Notes, a lot of electronic stuff. Now, I knew kind of in the back of my head he collected fountain pens, but he never really talked about it other than, well, I'm not always digital, I have my fountain pens. I'm like, okay. But he collects fountain pens! Okay, so I'm better now. But anyway, he collects fountain pens, and so he actually shared some of his fountain pens in the video. And, this is my Parker 61 and all that. But, the important thing was he showed what he does with them now. And a lot of it is more for planning because, like he said, you're kind of limited because he uses an iPad with an iPencil and all that stuff. I used to own an iPad, but it got so old that it just quit working. It kind of fell apart because the glue that held the cover on, dried up or quit working. I couldn't do updates, and yeah. Anyway, he has an iPad Pro with an iPencil. He has fabulous tools. He said there is just something about planning on paper, the feel of paper, and he even got into talking about how, certain papers, your fountain pen just bleeds through. But what he'll do is he'll digitize it. He'll scan it, and then he'll, usually on the digitized document, he'll type at the bottom of the photograph of the document, he'll type notes about, these are the important takeaways from this page. And he uses Post-its to remind himself what he hasn't digitized, and, these are the important things to digitize on this page. And, I don't know that I want to digitize all my handwritten stuff or all my typed stuff. Heaven forbid somebody ever sees this. But I did think the Post-its were interesting because, what a neat way to highlight for yourself that, here is the important stuff I really wanted to, I see now looking back on this page. So, I have to go to the city Saturday. Dickinson is my city, so Dickinson, North Dakota, don't laugh, but so I'm going to go to Dickinson, North Dakota. I'm going to pick up some Post-its, and I think I'm going to take that idea and modify it for my own use, of course. The digitizing, I don't know that I need to scan all this stuff. I don't want to, especially without a scanner that will automatically just take this. Oh my god. And then you have to take the time to do optical character recognition and so on, and yeah, it's too much work. But anyway, I got some interesting ideas out of it, so I'm going to share the link down below in the video description. So, I hope you find something useful out of it. Like I said, he does do interesting productivity videos, but I tried some of the digital tools he talked about, and I just thought, nope, not for me, because I tried Todoist, digital to-do list, and didn't like it. Okay, it was kind of cool, because I could have it on my phone, I could have it on my computer, I could have it on my computer at home and my computer at school, but I could arrange tasks, in different categories, and I could even do tasks like, that would appear like once a year, like, oh yeah, in May, it is time to start thinking about student awards and that kind of stuff, but, so, yeah, I quit using Todoist. Apple Notes, I just never got into. I've done a couple notes on Apple Notes and just, I do use Evernote quite heavily, as you probably know, but I was using that long before Pullein, so. Anyway, but he really got my attention with this video, so kudos to him. So one other thing I'm going to mention, for years, my planner was paper. kind of like how he was talking about. I had a Midori Traveler's Notebook. I think they go by a different brand name now, but whatever. So it had 3 different notebooks in it. One was a blank sheet notebook, one was a monthly calendar notebook, and one was a dot grid notebook. So the blank sheet notebook, I just take notes on whatever. Something occurs to me, write it down. The monthly calendar, I'd write down stuff that, for each day of the month. There's a girls' basketball game to take pictures of tonight. I'd put that all in my calendar way ahead of time. Dentist appointment. And, I could set it up as kind of an academic calendar. It would go, change to a new one in the summer sometime. The dot grid notebook I used as a daily planner. So every month I would write out a list of all the days of the month and write down what was the big events of the day. And then after that I would do kind of a bullet journal where I would write down, my daily tasks and cross them off. And that actually served me very well. I used it for many years. Midori definitely looks very beat up. I briefly tried for not quite 1 year. I tried I think it was a Rhodia planner, because they used to have an academic planner, so it was that same academic schedule. And so I used that for a while, for less than a year. I wasn't satisfied. It just didn't quite work for me. One of the things that was missing was an actual notebook. So the last number of years, basically, since the pandemic, so much of my life is pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, but yeah, whatever. So I bought I spent way too much money during the pandemic, but I bought a remarkable tablet during the pandemic, and it finally arrived in October, well after I'd started the school year, back live and in person, but in masks. And one of the things I put on it was a planner from My Deep Guide, and it had a monthly calendar, which I was using, still use. It had there's a weekly calendar, which I don't use that at all. There's a daily page, which has to-dos. It has a time schedule down the side, and it has notes. And there's another page you can go to with it's an actual notes page for that day. There's a reminders page you can go to for, there's 99 different reminders you can put in, or 99 different notes. And then there's even a gratitude journal in it. And I don't do the gratitude journal at all, but that has been my go-to ever since I first started using that. It is just perfect for me. The only thing that's not perfect for me is it's not an academic calendar. Other than that, I use that thing like crazy. And at the end of the year, I save it as a PDF. It's a 1,700 page PDF, but whatever. You're not going to carry around a planner like that, but it's got the flexibility for all kinds of different users, and it has the usage case for me. I get to handwrite, and yet I can go on my computer and look at it. Can't edit it on the computer, but I can look at it. It's just so perfect. And that, and my work, I have a lot of notebooks I use at work, all digital on this remarkable tablet, and they're all in one place. So I still like my paper notebooks. I have a lot of them. I do a lot of stuff at home with them, but boy, for work it's sure easy to show up at a meeting and I go, oh shoot, this is the tech committee meeting and I brought my leadership committee notebook. It's just all right there. So it's been a very nice thing. So yeah, this whole digital, we're going to go all digital, no paper or whatever divide. It's all great. It all mushes together. And you just kind of have to find your system that works the best for you. So that's my long poorly thought out comments on, digital versus paper versus some combination of the above. And I going to add a little footage to this video. So I went up to Killdeer today. So yesterday I recorded the me talking part of the video and didn't get the writing sample done. And so I'm finishing that today. But I'm late. And the reason was I left early to go to a wrestling meet in Killdeer. I don't normally travel to watch wrestling, but our own home wrestling meet was canceled due to weather and was not going to be rescheduled. So I'm yearbook advisor, so I need to get some pictures of kids wrestling, so I drove all the way to Killdeer. So brand new school built in opened in 2022. So I guess it's in its second year of being open. And it looks at it, it's nice. Very nice gym. Nice, oops, my camcorder is talking to me. Its battery saver thing is trying to come on. Anyway, very nice gym. The approach to the school is nice. It looks good. I was not able to get into the classroom part of the school, so we'll have to save that for a future trip. But still, it was interesting to see. And fire alarm went off during the wrestling meet. Nobody moves. They all just sit there, and I've been to enough of these to know that usually the reason the fire alarm goes off at one of these is some kid pulled it somewhere, or the popcorn machine started smoking. And school fires, now, although at one time were quite tragic, nowadays are quite rare because of how we build schools. But a lot of our laws about fire alarms and practicing are based on some tragedies that occurred in the past when schools were more made out of wood and had inadequate exits and fire suppression. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with a little bit of drive through Killdeer. That's a town I would like to visit for a Pens on the Road in nicer weather. So anyway, and I want to thank you for watching. And if I left you as clear as mud, it's okay. That this was definitely a woohoo type of night, but especially since I couldn't be on my regular camera. But anyway, I want to thank you for watching. And if videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old, and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And hey, how does the digital world interact with your paper world and your gray world, where you might use typewriters or e-ink tablets or some combination of the above? Let us know down in the comments. So I want to thank you for watching. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.